I just want to hear Green Goblin moan for 90 minutes. That is going in the intro, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep writing my name, Spider-Man.
I'd kill a man to see elementary school David play Crazy Train on the xylophone. Are you kidding me? Goddamn.
It's funny because I hadn't listened to like thrash metal or really metal in general for a long time, and then I put this on in the car, and I'm like, well, they're playing very fast. And that came on.
I like it.
If I'm spoiling a 40-year-old movie,
Yo, Empire Strikes Back spoiler warning. Jesus Christ.
And that's one of my favorite parts about Metallica is just their transitions can be like buttery freaking smooth.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Unboxing Light podcast, episode 48 of this beautiful show. And we are about to hit you with some good shit, my guy. I'm back, though. That's first and foremost.
He's back. Welcome back.
We back.
Welcome back.
Trevor.
For those of you that even noticed that there was only 3 of us last week, shout out to y'all. Well, we're going to hit you with a classic review, one of 3 that we're doing, sort of like a new style for our music box. We're going to hit you with a review of one Ride the Lightning by Metallica, 1984 classic. So,
yes, dude.
If you're interested in that, strap in the electric chair. Let's get it.
Facts. Well said.
I want to hear a dad joke.
Who are we, Trevor? Who are your co-hosts?
Oh shit! I've been out of practice, man. So I don't
yeah,
know.
dude.
Man.
I'm in a new space. We'll talk about that in a couple of days. But
Yeah, that brand new setup.
Nah, so I'm Treasure. I'm here. I got my boy Alex with me.
What's going on, everybody? I'm hyped to be here with my boys.
He always gives that like delay that he does. Like he did that last week.
What's
going on, everybody?
and the style to it.
I got Mr. Fade to Dave Mustaine. What's up, baby?
What's up, suckers?
Yo, that might have been the cringiest thing you've ever done.
I knew it was gonna be, but I had to do it, man.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
And I'm also joined by track 3 of this album.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? New metal fan Cameron here, coming at you with this review. Hope it'll be a good one. So, what are we doing here, Trev?
Oh, we're doing some traditions before we get into this album review. And like I said, I wanted to hear a dad joke. So let's get the dad joke.
That's true. All right. So these dad jokes are trash. So I found the only semi-decent one. But what is an astronaut's favorite part of a computer?
God dang it! I feel like it shouldn't be that.
Well, I would say I have a guess, but I don't want to give it before in case I steal the thunder.
Like you did last week.
last week I knew it for sure. I think, but
You might ride my lightning, but don't steal my thunder.
All right.
I got nothing. I don't think we got nothing. What is it?
Yep, the astronaut's favorite part of the computer is the space bar.
Oh dang! I was gonna say I was gonna say storage space.
That's not a.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not. Technically, it's a hard drive. Technically, it's a hard drive, but I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of, even though the space bar is far more obvious, obviously. But
yeah, it's so obvious. I didn't get it.
Honestly, though.
All
right, Mr. David. What are you going to give us for your track of the week?
Okay, guys. I figured
I swear, if you do it.
I figured I'd recommend some other metal I am a fan of on these Metallica reviews, because we're going to be covering so much Metallica anyway.
3 in a row.
So I'm going to go with something that will spark a war in the comments. If we get enough views on this, I'll go with Holy Wars, The Punishment Due by Megadeth. One of my favorite thrash metal songs of all time. You already know the themes just by the title. It's kind of self-explanatory. Masterpiece. You gotta check it out. If you
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 for sure. If you're listening to this, or if any one of you are just getting into thrash metal right now, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
It gets David's stamp of approval.
Yeah, they do some of that in the song too. They go
Some of that.
Damn, that sounded exactly like an electric guitar. That was crazy.
The guitar in there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check that out. They're on the list after I actually checked out Slayer after doing this, so it's pretty fucking dope. So.
Yeah, another one of the big four. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
All right, Cameron, give us your fun fact of the week. I know it's a little bit of a 2-parter, maybe 3. So
stop spoiling, motherfucker.
Sorry.
All right, so part 1 is just a straight fact, and then part 2 we're gonna do another good old fashioned CB guessing game.
Okay.
So fact 1 is that on December 8th, 2013, Metallica became the first ever band to perform a live show on all 7 continents when they performed a show aptly dubbed "Freeze 'Em All" for a crowd of about 120 in Antarctica.
Antarctica, yep.
Right.
The first 2 songs on the set list were on the album we're about to cover today, which were "Creeping Death" and "For Whom the Bell Tolls."
Dang. They missed an opportunity for
I literally was about to say it. Yeah.
Trapped in
Why the
Ice.
fuck they didn't play Trapped Under Ice?
It wasn't on the set list.
That might have been 2 on the nose. I think they probably would have had some bad juju.
Yeah, they already did "Freeze 'Em All," which is the obvious play on their first album. We're covering the second one, so So for fact number 2, we're gonna get guesses from the boys, and it was almost spoiled. I was like clenching my teeth in the information video we watched together before the podcast, as we were informing ourselves on some of the finer details of the production and everything. The question is, what was the album's final cost of production? And you can either guess in 1984 money or 2021 money, but you have to specify which your guess is.
I know both. So
you know both. Okay, so you can give your answer last. Do you have a guess, David or Alex?
Think realistically.
Yeah.
This wasn't very high.
Just knee jerk.
1984. I'll go. Oh, frick me. 1984. I'll go 10,000. In today's money, I'll go whatever. 50.
Yeah,
like
whatever
16,
inflation is.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah. Okay. Alex?
I'm gonna go double or nothing. I'm gonna say 20,000 in 1984.
In 1984. All right, Trevor, you want to hit him with the Wikipedia page?
Yeah, so it's like, I think it was like 20 to 30,000 was the range in 1984, and then the today's dollars, whenever it was marked, was like 77,000.
Yeah, so the planned cost was 20 grand in 1984, and it ended up being just above 30, which is around just less than 80K in today's money. So for that to succeed in the way it did, as I believe Trevor is going to detail after he gives us whatever he's going to give us, is pretty remarkable. So yeah,
That's
ahead,
a hell of a fucking return rate on or return on investment.
Yes, return on investment. Yeah. Yes, we'll see that it is. Yeah.
Good
No
fucking
kidding.
point. Well, I guess I gotta follow up with the fucking stats before I do my tradition. Ooh, drinking
Go ahead,
Truly,
dude.
I see.
Truly.
Yeah, we're sipping. We're chilling.
We're sipping. So this album peaked at the number 100 spot on the Billboard 200 when it first sold. Maybe it pressed like 75,000 copies.
Correct.
In the North American stores where you could pick up your CDs, and it ended up selling like about 500,000 copies by the end of the year.
In the first 3 years.
In the first 3 years.
By 87, it had sold 500,000 in America.
Yeah, which is ridiculous considering it had no airplay like at all, which is also really weird to think about because I knew Fade to Black and For Whom the Bell Tolls like front to back, obviously, because like that shit was just everywhere. Like they're classic songs.
Yeah.
But for that, no radio play, and then it to sell 6 million copies, like that's fucking outrageous. Like I don't know when it hit the 6 million mark, but like for it to even go platinum, for it to even sell gold is insane.
Yeah, certified 6 times platinum in 2012. So
Yeah,
they
so I'm
hit
assuming
they
probably
hit
at
their
7.
they hit their peak on the Billboard Hot 200 at 100 when they were getting no radio time. Obviously, after that, when they sold so many fucking copies, they were on the radio all the time. But their peak of album sales was before they were even on the radio, which is just, I guess, a testament to, you know, word of mouth, their fans being hardcore as fuck, and you know, them touring a fuckload, I think. So, yeah, it's really cool stuff.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Music history.
Yeah.
Dude, it's,
not all about the radio.
But before we do that, I wanted to give my tradition of the week, and I'm going to feature one Mr. Dave, otherwise known as Dave Vision. Cut that shit out. Hold on, I'm gonna re-say that. I didn't mean to give your government. I'm sorry.
Oh, I forget. I didn't even realize you did.
Yeah, no, I'm only doing that. Well,
I thought you were telling him to cut his mustache. I thought you said Dave Vision cut that shit.
Yo, keep everything but his name.
Yeah, I think this is all staying in. Yeah,
except for his name.
I'll bleep the name. Yeah.
So for my tradition, I will get one Mr. Dave Vision on the dual harmonics. So we're gonna sing a little duet for you.
Good God.
So you know the part. You got it up.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how you want to do this, but I'll count down to 3. It's gonna be sound like shit, but that's what I
sound awful.
If you talk over each other, Discord's gonna have a seizure. So just we'll see how this goes.
Hopefully it works. I feel like nervous as if this is a real performance for some reason.
It is, bro. This is going out on the web, on the interweb.
Okay. We're gonna hit him with the quote.
I'll hit him with the 3, 2, 1. All right. So yeah. All right, baby. 3, 2, 1.
No one but me can save myself up too late.
Yeah, that came through super clean. That was perfect. That was crystal clear. Yeah. I feel like I'm in the studio with Metallica right now. Yeah. That was perfect.
Yeah, James Hetfield who?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Cover band.
Yeah, so we're the cover band.
My lord.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to just read that out in plain text for anyone who is
if you're a fan of this band, you should know what we sang, but
all right.
It's no one but me can save myself, but it's too late.
Yes.
It's Fade to Black, baby.
Fade to Black.
Quoting the riff as well, to be clear. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we're definitely quoting the riff for sure.
That's inspiring. That's the power of self-help. I like that.
Well,
self-help.
Did you say no one but me can save me? Was that not
but then he says, but it's too late, right?
Yeah, like it's like all about like despair.
Oh, so the power of self-help. If you don't let it go too long. So take care of yourselves out there, Unboxing Life listeners, beautiful people.
Very true.
There you go. Take care, numero uno, as they say.
Big facts.
Drake's second album for sure.
Okay.
So
he's back. He's fucking back, ladies and gentlemen. Trevor is back on the podcast. We love to see it.
Woo! Shit. You made a joke that it was gonna be like a quiet episode without me, and like I feel like I'm not that loud. Am I like?
I'm gonna make a callback. I'm gonna make a callback to the Halloween episode where you said something about being quiet, and your girlfriend looked at you sideways and was like, "Hello."
I wish we were filming that then, because I would have loved to see that.
Oh damn, it would have been great. Yeah, if we had video back then. Yeah, for sure.
Man.
That scuffed ass setup sitting in front of my TV.
That was an insanely fun episode too.
And having my laptop on it.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of scuffed setups, I'm on a fucking end table right now, so we out here.
Hey, we make it work.
Nice.
DIY podcast. We're out here bringing entertainment to the beautiful people. So what are we doing? I heard we got an album to review.
I do believe we have an album to review after 13 minutes of us bullshitting around. Let's get into it.
Get into it.
That's what makes
Keep
us
the shirt though. Keep the shirt.
You gotta respect it.
I got a couple stories to tell.
I'm wearing green because it's St. Patrick's Day on recording, and I couldn't find my even more green shirt, so whatever.
Got some green on there.
There you go. Yeah.
I got absolutely no green.
I got green. I got more green shirts than this, but we got green ripping. for
There
sure.
There you
Yeah.
go.
We got enough green for you, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
First impressions. The Metallica band. Y'all knew them going into this. Cameron, did you know any of these songs before?
Not this album, no. I've definitely heard Metallica, but I don't think I've heard. None of it rang. For whom the bell tolls. To actually.
If you said it didn't ring a bell,
Yeah,
I swear.
I literally like I said, it didn't ring a bell, and then it hit me like a fucking cinder block on the head that I've heard "For Whom the Bell Tolls" before. Yeah, that's wildly ironic. That's almost.
Is it the Liberty Bell? I'm pissed off.
That feels scripted. What? You mean the bell in Philadelphia?
The famous crack bell.
Yeah, that's the Liberty Bell. Yeah.
Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, I heard off the top of my head, "For Whom the Bell Tolls" rang a bell, as it were. But I don't know about anything else, honestly. Even
Not Fade to Black.
definitely not Fade to Black. No.
Damn.
No, I didn't know Metallica had an acoustic guitar on any of their songs. Like,
Dude, that shit is classic Reno, classic.
yeah, so probably just "For Whom the Bell Tolls" was all I had heard offhand before now, unless I just wasn't paying attention. I'm sure it's been in the background somewhere at whatever on the radio. For sure. But
that's a CD bar.
The only thing that was familiar to me in any sense was "For Whom the Bell Tolls." So it was a very new experience for me, definitely. I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Alex? Did you have any prior?
Yeah, I haven't heard any of these songs before.
Really?
No. Yeah, or any Metallica in general, I would say.
No. Can't do that. No. I'm not taking that.
I don't think you can live 20 years on the earth without hearing like "Enter Sandman" or anything like that.
Classic hits.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if I heard it, I would know it, but
Probably.
Yeah, maybe once we get
to
to
my
that.
knowledge,
Yeah.
it could be one of those songs that I've heard, but like I didn't place it. But
Probably. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I see.
But on this album, I haven't heard before. So
Nice.
And David was our, how should we say, resident Metallica fan beforehand.
That is true.
But you didn't experience this album before us, right?
No, yeah, I hadn't heard this one. I listened to a few of their albums, I guess. I'm a big fan of a couple that we'll get to, but I'd heard a few. I'd heard "Ride the Lightning," "For Whom the Bell Tolls," "Fade to Black." I hear the riff played a lot from that, but it honestly surprised me. Like the bridge part, I feel like was new to me. So
Okay,
that was fun. Yeah, that's about
that was
it.
fun.
That was fun. I imagine you're pretty similar to me, probably.
Yeah, I grew up on listening to 1011, which is the local Florida rock station over here for non-Central Florida listeners.
Makes sense.
And that was like they played it to death. Like they played Master of Puppets, fucking Enter Sandman, all that shit.
Sad but true. Yeah.
Sad but true. Nothing else matters. Like Wherever I May Roam, all that shit. They played it like all the time. So
wait, is "Sad but True" the name of a song, or is it "Sad but True" that they play it all the time?
No, it is happy
That's
and
a
true.
bar.
I had the same knee-jerk reaction. I was like, I thought David was. I thought David was lamenting how much they played Metallica on the radio, not naming another song that they played on the radio all the time. I was like, I mean, I as soon as you also listed off, I was like, oh, okay. But I had the same initial reaction as Alex. I was like, is he roasting Metallica on the radio?
Oh my gosh!
Damn, and he doesn't even know like the "This Means War" riff and
Hey man, we're babies. We're ready to learn.
Yeah, definitely babies. Y'all are learning in the right place, as am I.
Dope.
So yeah, I've had like grassroots experiences with Metallica. We've actually, David and I, before you get to the album, David and I actually saw them live. Like we went to one of their shows. I am ashamed to say that we only stayed for half the set, and I didn't appreciate it nearly as much as I should have. Yeah, you give me that face because I really regret that. But
Why?
Well, let me give you the whole spiel. So fucking David wasn't even going to that show. It was a Metallica headliner with Avenged Sevenfold playing in support.
Oh my goodness.
Him and I went for Avenged. Like we thought it was going to be like a longer Avenged set than what we got. We only got like maybe 45 minutes of Avenged, and which was fine. Like it was definitely
solid
worth
for an opener, isn't it?
Yeah, it was still worth the price. But we went for Avenged, and obviously we like Metallica. Like we were metal fans, but we didn't like them, you know, not like now. I can consider myself like a fan now, but I was not a fan of them before then. So we stayed like for half their set, and by the time like they got to the halfway point, I was like my ears were bleeding. Like I didn't have any earplugs, and we were just like sitting there like this the whole time, and it's completely deafening. It was not working.
All right, that makes sense then. I was like, did you like? Was it like a walk out of the theater because you hated the movie moment? It was just you were literally dying, like gonna suffer permanent hearing loss.
Yeah, legitimately. I probably have tendonitis because of that.
Yeah, I'm very. That makes a lot of sense that a metal concert would be blowing out the speakers like that.
Yeah, that's why I have a fucking plastic bag full of like 200 pairs of earplugs, like disposable earplugs. Like I have to. Even when I go to like the club and shit, like when we go to bar crawls and stuff, I have to have plugs in.
It's a good idea, dude.
It fucks
Protect
me.
your hearing.
Yeah, I want to be able to hear when I'm 70. Like.
Yeah, I've read stuff about nightclub DJs that were like DJs for like 2 years, like age 22 to 24, and now they have permanent tinnitus. It's like, yeah, fuck that.
Like I guess another story. We're not going to cover this album, but when they were recording "And Justice for All" with their 1988 album, what were you laughing at? What's happening?
You said we're not going to cover this album, right?
I mean, if it's a related story, it makes sense to tell.
Yeah,
no,
I just laughed at that. Yeah.
Well, when they were recording their fourth album, which is also another classic that we just unfortunately don't have time to get to, they had like severe burnout and like their ears were shot, and so their recording process was janked. Like that album is notorious for having no bass because they turned up the mix so loud that they had the high end like completely overcoming the low end. So there's no bass on that album. Even like the remaster has like no bass. It's all just guitars and drums, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But, yeah, so protect your hearing. Wear some earplugs. But we didn't leave the show because we hated the show. They were fucking killer from what I remember.
Yeah, I remember, was James Hetfield playing guitar with a drumstick? I want to say he did that. I feel like I have that memory.
They put out a bunch of fucking Congo drums and just like started banging on them shits for like 5 minutes straight.
Yeah,
like they were fooling.
Giant orchestral drums and stuff. Yeah, it was nutty. Yeah, no, but
I hope to God that I get to catch them before like one of them, like God forbid this, but like one of them passes and like they just stop touring like altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
Rest in peace, Clipper.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about that.
We want to hop into the track list as we normally do. Is that our next step?
Sure.
I'm pissed off that this album starts off with the best fucking song on the album. That's my take. That's my take. Fight Fire with Fire is fucking ferocious, man. Oh my god, that riff! I imagine like trying to play that song live just completely kills your wrist after a while.
Yeah,
I can imagine that.
Like the whole
knowing as little as I do, I can imagine that. Yeah,
it's funny because I hadn't listened to like thrash metal or really metal in general for a long time, and then I put this on in the car, and I'm like, well, they're playing very fast. And that came on. Like, I forgot how fast they play.
Oh golly, gee, this is some quick guitar here. Good lord,
this is some quick guitar. This will be hard on Guitar Hero.
Golly goodness!
Immediately jump on you with the thrash freaking nuttiness, and I'm a big fan. Yeah,
Through the Fire and the Flames, 150% speed.
Jesus, my uncle Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. I think he told me a story where like the label back then told them to like chill out and play slower because they were just playing so fucking quick. Like, they were demons.
That's
what were you gonna say, Alex?
I was gonna say I like the intro of this track.
The acoustic guitar.
Like damn.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was.
It took me. It definitely took me a couple listens to get into it, but by like my 5th, 6th listen, I was like, all right.
I could imagine that this would probably be an abrasive first like impression of Metallica, considering like how massive they are. Like they've sold like 125 million albums. Like so, like to hear this from a band of that magnitude is kind of like nutty because you wouldn't think that this kind of thing would shoot them to stardom, you know?
Yeah.
But it's those softer tracks, the more melodically driven tracks that actually bring them up. You know, like the Fade to Blacks and the For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The only thing with that track is like I've like started getting over it the more I listen to it, but I dislike how like choppy the vocals are. It almost feel like they're like put on top of like the rest of the instrumentation, and I like the guitar, and the instrumentation is fucking sick on that. It kills, and like David said, it's some fast guitar. So it's like, yeah, it's cool as fuck. But like the I don't know, the vocals being so choppy as they are, like it doesn't ruin it for me, but it's like it's not as perfect as a song as I feel like it could be. Almost.
I was gonna say, yeah, it is almost like the song that's for like the thrash fans, because even the hook is like fire with fire. It's like,
I love it.
Ending is near.
Yeah,
I love it, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
It
it feels
at the end of the first.
We all shall die.
yeah, it feels like it's like no substance, all to just like smack you in the face, and I'm like cool
And
with
the
that.
song
Like
is
that,
about like nuclear apocalypse.
yeah, like that can definitely be the way it is and be valued. But
Yeah,
Dude, that riff is fucking insane. But it's like it's nonstop. It's fucking insane.
yeah.
I'm definitely I'm putting this at the top with the first track. I'm gonna struggle throughout our review here to separate the like singular riffs from song to song, because I just like I've listened to this like I've listened to this like 6 times, and it's like it's still tough for me to remember which one goes where, because it's all, I mean, like you talk about, Trevor, specifically you talk about like, bro, how can people not like tell the difference between metal? And I'm like, I feel like it's like speaking a new language. It's like it just all sounds the same. Okay, that's egregious. Is to say it all sounds the same is like the
You would literally be wrong.
110. I would literally be wrong, because it doesn't all sound the same. I actually like, when I was listening through it, I was like, oh, it's cool how they change up the style in different places. But like it's like I said, I just have a tough time remembering what goes where, because it is so stylistically similar. It's all, like you said, thrash metal.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, that's
that.
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna fuck it up, and I'm gonna, if you ask me, like, if you gave me a quiz, I would fail it 100% of like what riff goes on what song. I'd fucking fail it 10 times out of 10. So yeah, but I mean, like I said, I listened to it multiple times. Grew on me quite a bit. But the more
Dude,
the
you
more
just went from like 100 to like 20. You were like, yo, I'm gonna fail. Like, so I listened to it like 20 times.
did I really? Damn. Anyway.
Like you were ashamed that you couldn't.
I'm a little sad. I don't want to disappoint Trev and Daddy
fine.
David.
I totally get it. Maybe it's just because I grew up on this kind of shit that
it definitely is. It's your fluency.
Yeah, like production is like the first thing I think of. So like the one of the gripes that I have about this album, I think it's on Fight Fire with Fire, where the guitars like literally float above the it's on the song. They literally float above the double kick, the double bass drum kick, where like the song will cut out, but like I can't remember the main riff, but it like the guitar is so much louder, and it's obviously a 1984 album is what I'm trying to say.
Makes sense.
Like it's like Wu-Tang with, you know, the rough production choices. But if this was polished like, you know, a 2012 metal album or something, I wouldn't like it nearly as much because it's not as abrasive.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was reading the Wikipedia, and they were like, yeah, they recorded the drums in like a warehouse that had like outrageous echo and like all this stuff.
I can totally see that.
Yeah,
because the drums sound like shit on the album, but they're great.
Yeah, like we said, production costs were low. They were poor as fuck when they were recording this, so they
were couch surfing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
they said they slept in the studio in the day when other bands were recording, and they would record at night in the studio when they had the free time. So they literally took the worst.
In 3 weeks. Yeah. 3 fucking weeks. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, and it was like largely cobbled together over stuff they had previously just recorded live. It wasn't like they'd sat down, wrote the entire album, and then recorded it. It was like very gradual, from what I got from the Wikipedia page anyway. So
yeah. When I learned that Dave Mustaine was in this band, I kind of like put my phone down, and I was like, am I in like the Twilight Zone? Like, because everyone knows that name. At least, like, if you're like a slight bit into metal, you know who Dave Mustaine is. I have no idea how metal or Megadeth sounds at all. Like, you can kill me in the comments. I couldn't tell you a goddamn song of theirs, but I know that name. So, like, to see him on that, like, he was credited on 4 tracks on Kill 'Em All and then 2 on this. So this was like, this still had like a fourth of the album was still like his handprint. And then, you know, Master of Puppets was all them. But like to see him on this album kind of like fucking threw me for a loop. I was like, holy shit, the guy from Megadeth was in Metallica. Like,
they have this whole
funny.
like resentment, like competition thing of like Megadeth and Metallica, which we alluded to. Like it's crazy that he started out there and then split off. And even in, like I've seen like an interview where like people will bring up Metallica all the time when they're talking to Dave Mustaine. He's like,
dude, that would piss me off so much, man.
It seems like,
I have an entire band, and like I have critically acclaimed albums that like shaped metal to this day, and you're still asking about James Hetfield. Like, why?
Yeah.
But apparently there was a lot of tension with him and Kirk Hammett, because I guess like the first 4 bars of just about every like guitar solo apparently was like Dave Mustaine, and then Kirk did his own thing with it. So Dave felt like, it's funny to say Dave, just thinking of you, but Dave felt like he got popular off of his riffs. So it was a little bit of tension there for a while. I don't know how they are now, but
it probably already exists. But if we fully educated ourselves on like not even music but just metal drama, we could probably record 10 hours of podcasting. Like I'd bet there's the industry is tough.
Definitely,
and a lot of shit like that happens. So
sorry, one second.
Where do we kick back? Where do we leave off?
I don't know. I was gushing about Fight Fire with Fire.
All right, we can just move on. We can just move on to track 2 because I think I
will say Fire with Fire is top 3 for me on this track. Trevor said it was his favorite. It's top 3.
Nice.
Okay. I like
Not with that.
I'm not sure the order, but
it's a sign you can get into more thrash if you wanted to. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, it's super heavy. Like even to this day, it gets me going. It gets me a little head action.
Definitely gets that.
Like I said, I like the guitar at the beginning.
Head action.
And then it goes in.
Yeah. On to the title track though.
The title track. I'm not a fan of this track. I will say.
Oh wow.
When I texted you, I tried to get over it. When I texted you about it, like or when I texted the chat, I was like, "Yo, am I the only one that's getting like Ozzy Osbourne vibes with this shit?"
Yeah, you did.
Because like he legitimately sounds like Ozzy, like this entire track.
I was gonna get into that. I think the vocal mixing on this album is probably my least favorite part of it, and it's not terrible, but it's like when we get to Master of Puppets, I think it's a lot better.
For sure.
This sounds like the '80s like metal band, like Black Sabbath, obviously, like recording it in like a church, like just yelling, just echoing like crazy, like yeah. I mean,
I hate when I hate how he opens up the verses.
That's definitely
happening to me.
Oh my god, that's definitely what I love about recording the podcast with you guys and covering these types of albums. I slurred the fuck out of that. Covering these types of albums is our vast difference in experience. Is that David has that informed opinion of like Master Puppets was so much better with the mixing, and this is how I feel about this because of that and everything. And I'm just like, I guess I'm new. I guess.
But like, I feel like that's something that like if we bring it up to your attention, you'll be able to apply that
soon enough. I mean, that's the whole point of learning. But that being said, Ride the Lightning is like top 3 on this for me. I like it a lot. I thought it was cool as fuck, and I also thought
you can't do that to Ride the Lightning though. Like that's such a legendary song. You cannot start hating on it like that.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was fucking great, and it was really cool. The story and everything. I actually listened to a recent last podcast on the left, which is the true crime podcast I listened to. That was about just the electric chair and how like fucking horrific it is, and that like. It takes you a while to die in the electric chair. It's like 2 to 3 minutes, and it cooks you from the inside. And the last thing you experience as a person, content warning if you're squeamish, the last thing you experience dying in the electric chair is the smell of your own skin and hair melting. It's a horrendous way to die. It's not humane at all.
How do you know?
Because it was reported. It was reported by the people who both they failed to kill in the electric chair and the people who had to put people to death in the electric chair. Dang. And they would turn the switch on for a full. The procedure was like turn it on for a full minute, turn it off, see if they died. If they didn't die, another full minute. And so like if they're not dead by then, they're still obviously like somewhat conscious or knocked out or still breathing. And so like the executioner is just like. Smelling horrendous shit, and obviously, when people die, they evacuate their bowels. It's like horrendous. It's a terrible fucking way to go. It is literally like it's up there on ways I wouldn't fucking pick. So it's like the way they talk about that, and the fact that the track is about sort of the brutality of that method and the prison system in America too. Sort of was very interesting to me that they would talk about that kind of thing, especially in like 1984. And I don't know. I like the track. I like the the grips with mortality. I like the guitar, obviously a lot. I'm gonna say that for every fucking track.
Yeah, you kind of can't not like.
Yeah, it'd be weird to say, oh, this Metallica track has weak guitar. Would be a weird thing to say.
Yeah, no, they're like Riff City on this fucking album.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I don't hate it. I like it. I'll listen to it.
It's
that's tough. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with Cameron that I think is also one of my top 3.
Yeah.
Just because I like the way it starts off with the guitar. You know, that's in my head. That's in my head when I think of when it comes to mind. When I'm thinking of tracks, that's one of them.
Yeah, my only complaint with it is I think it goes on a little bit too long. If it was like maybe 45 seconds shorter in like the middle parts where it's just repeating the same guitar pattern over and over again, and I just want them to like switch it up a little bit. That's my only thing with that track, but
they're not afraid to just like
ride it out.
Yeah, without giving a fuck at all.
Yeah, that's absolutely
your time at all.
That's absolutely a vibe I got from this album. Yeah, that's one of
the stronger parts of the album for me is that for me at least, it didn't waste my time at all. Like I thought every second of it was great, even if I don't like particularly vibe with the track like that much. Like they're just the fact that they're able to just go off the walls with their instrumentation and just, all right, we're gonna be a little progressive here, and then just like say fuck the vocals for 2 minutes, and we're just gonna go. You're gonna have this lead right here, Kirk, for like 30 seconds, and then we're gonna get back to you. This shit was great. This album is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Their songwriting is great. Yeah, I mean, just a track like this, the metal themes. I feel like that's kind of like a metal thing. Like, well, that's a bit general, but I like the themes like this, like just hardcore, like in your face. Like, okay, we're talking about dying by the electric chair, and like it's even the cover of the album. So I can appreciate a lot of Metallica's subject matter and song topics for sure.
They got the Ride the Lightning or album title from Stephen King's The Stand, right?
Right.
Stand, yeah. I read that. I don't. Yeah.
My mom is a super big fan of that book, and it's incredibly long. It's like over 1,000 pages.
Yeah. Stephen King is not afraid to write.
Dude, when I looked up how many books Stephen King had on Google, it was like about 100 and something. Like it didn't even give me a fucking number. It was like about 120. I'm like, are you shitting me?
Yeah, homie definitely cooks. Yeah, and interestingly enough, the book is weirdly topical for our day and age. If you're looking back on this years ago and thinking of the coronavirus as ancient history, The Stand is about a strain of influenza which wipes out most of the global population. So that's interesting. Weirdly topical, weirdly relevant. But not necessarily anything they had in mind in 1984.
Yeah. Okay. True.
All right, so track 3.
Track 3?
What's track 3 is fucking For Whom the Bell Tolls, correct?
Yes, another legendary track.
Absolutely another. This is the classic Metallica track, for me at least.
Interesting.
This is what I think of when I think of Metallica.
I wish I had a bell to ring, honestly.
Interesting.
You literally cannot hate the song if you have ears.
Yeah, it's mad heavy. It's got that consistent pacing. It's like just man.
It builds up for like a minute and a half. I love those build-ups, like the Hail to the King build-up, basically every build-up on Waking the Fallen. If y'all are Avengers fans out there, fuck me, man. I love those build-ups where it adds like another element of a riff, maybe like every 8 bars, and then it adds another like bass line or something. It's
like one of my favorite things listening to any music, even in this realm. Yeah, it's just when it builds up, it starts out heavy, and then it's just, oh dang, you're getting heavier. It's just like, god dang, how heavy will it get? It's just nice, yeah. And so I love the pace of this. Yeah, I feel like it's a little more like it makes up for some of the problems I have with maybe like Ride the Lightning or even Fight Fire with Fire. This one is more like I can like pick apart the words, like the verses more, and like the hook is more like melodic. It like
Definitely.
it like sticks out more.
Definitely.
And it's just I really appreciate that about the track. Yeah, I think
It's just playing in my head. Oh my god!
That's. I said I'd fail the quiz. That's one I can pick out. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's too clear to miss. I think.
Yeah. Pretty great.
This one didn't grow on me as much as I would have thought. I don't know.
Damn, Alex coming in with the takes instead of Cameron. No,
I'm telling you how I feel, man.
That's fine. No, that's fine. It's surprising. Okay. This song is too short to me because like by the time it goes burr, 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 and then it rides out for like a minute and 10 or whatever, I'm just like, bro, I want another verse. I want another hook.
I'm always surprised that that it's already over. I don't really. That's my least favorite part is that it ends and it just sort of like fades out and then it's done, like pretty quick. And it's unexpected.
It's because I mean, like the first half and then the back, it's front and back loaded, and then like there's only like 2 minutes of vocals.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, true.
And it's like a 5.5 minute track, but absolute fucking classic. And for whom the CB is hilarious.
Was good, boys. Our homies on YouTube. That was cringe as fuck what I just did to acknowledge that. Absolutely. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see all our. I don't know if you came through clear on that or not, but anyway, if you're on YouTube, you can see all our super creative Zoom names.
And our new format that Mr. Alex cooked up for us.
That's much true.
A nice little electric ride the lightning blue, like around our frames.
Yeah, let us know what you think about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Much more importantly, the increase in production quality from my man Amo cooking up the background for sure.
Absolutely, you already know.
You love to see it. You love to see it. So check us out. Check us out there if you want to see our beautiful faces, you beautiful people. But for whom the bell tolls being
review on Apple Podcast because I forgot to say it.
That too. Yes, drop us whatever you feel we deserve on Apple Podcasts, and I'll read the 5 stars.
And if you are watching us on YouTube, then you're getting the best experience. Subscribe.
That's
Subscribe. Ring the bell as well.
Important for this.
And give it a like. Slap it a like.
David and I will sing your reviews if you leave them on Apple Podcasts. We will sing them. I promise you. But we'll find a way to interpolate it on our favorite hip hop beats, and we'll sing it for you.
I'll sing it too. I'll go in there.
We'll sing it. Okay.
Right,
nice.
Alex will be behind the wheels of steel.
Wheels of steel.
DJ Premier. For whom the bell tolls, yet another and not our last literary reference on the album. I know nothing of this book aside from what I read about it in its brief summary on the old Wikipedia, but it's named after the Ernest Hemingway book that shares the same name, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which details the horrors of modern warfare, in which case that would have been, the 50s and probably 70s of Vietnam in that age. So.
I'm pretty sure it came out in like a couple years ago.
Couple years ago.
Yeah, like I thought that's kind of weird that they knew that this book was going to come out in 2019 and 2007.
I'm gonna kill y'all. I'm literally gonna kill y'all.
We were talking about COD earlier.
Yeah, that's such a horrendous joke. Okay, I love it though. I love the bad jokes.
If you think about it, it's kind of weird that modern warfare is like a descriptor. Like, do you think that term will, like, in 50 years, will you still think of like the Afghanistan, like Iraq era of war when you hear modern warfare?
It's weird
because I will.
I think modern warfare is like one of those terms that's gonna like evolve with the times. Like modern is like now. So,
yeah,
it is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like whatever it is in 50 years, that's gonna be modern. So.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird for me. Like, I can't separate the two from the video game.
I can see it. I'll be like that grandpa is like, I'll tell you back in my day what modern warfare was.
Right. We had the gold AK-47. Y'all are running around with fucking laser beams now.
Yeah.
I'd like to look up when that book came out. I think Hemingway was active around the same time, about the 70s. So that would have been, Vietnam and all that. But especially, definitely at least World War II, which was horrific for, millions of people. So, yeah. That's that derail. But yeah, it was interesting to me when they when this kept on getting pointed out was that they are making references. They're drawing from existing material that has credibility, and then adding to it with these songs.
Yeah, even Call of Cthulhu, right? They have one of their first, I guess their first, I don't know about Kill 'Em All, but their first H.P. Lovecraft reference.
Yep.
We'll get into, yeah.
And when we get to that, I'll tell you why it's misspelled, unless you already know. Oh, well, you might already know, but I'll tell the beautiful people when we get there.
I misspelled.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, people spell bomb with an A, like one A, so, you know.
Yeah. Who knows how to
Bomb
spell it?
Margera. Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Let's keep on trucking.
Let's go on to Fade to Black, my favorite song on the album.
Fade to Dave. Ooh, okay. I like
Okay.
that take. I can't really hate that take.
Yeah.
This shit is a bizanger. Like,
Yeah. I was saying how, like, I have a distinct memory of, like, I was in a steel drum band when I was in elementary and middle school, right?
I need pics.
But then yeah. We brought in a couple of us, like, played guitar, not me, but a couple of kids who are actually, like, good instrumentalists would, like, bring an electric guitar and, like, practice. And I remember this dude playing the Fade to Black riff, like, a bunch. And that's where I, like, first heard, like, anything from the song. And so I remember, like, the chord progression and everything. But then my favorite part was when it surprised the frick out of me and does like that switch up is crazy, like the tempo change and everything. Yeah, and that's one of my favorite parts about Metallica is just their transitions can be like buttery freaking smooth. And
this is Avenged. Like, if you think about it, this is Avenged Sevenfold's blueprint. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm gonna appreciate them even more than I already do. Like, just because I know their roots now. It's fucking
Blueprint.
awesome. Yeah, it's their.
They already got
2000
the Black album.
Damn. And they got this album is blue too. So, you know, I mean, they were ahead of Jay, man. Jay kind of stole his sauce. I'm not gonna lie.
Good God.
Secret sauce. Yeah, but yeah, Cliff Burton apparently, from what I've heard, you know, their bassist and also just like an instrumental songwriter. He got onto this album, you know, after Kill 'Em All, right? Him and why am I blanking on the guitarist's name? Oh my God.
Kirk Hammett.
Yeah. And so I think you can definitely tell his influence, and just especially like having an 8-minute like instrumental track and all the like crazy transitions and stuff, and very cool. I can definitely it's like something that holds up over time, even if the production is like, you know, dated or whatever. If like, you know, it sounds weird, like you don't get the subject matter, just the pure songwriting of it is nutty. Like, it's just so well structured and like, god dang.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. Like, even if they had no vocals on this and it was just a pure instrumental album, I would still be happy. Like, it's still that interactive to me.
Yeah. And speaking of the vocals, I also love them. I like the subject matter on on Fade to Black. Yeah, he's talking about, you know, being in a very dark place, obviously, sort of like maybe suicidal tendencies. And we just learned from a informative little video we watched that like it was right after their equipment got stolen, and you know, for a broke band, that's a big deal. And
that's awful. That shit is really expensive.
Career
amps are
right.
Yeah, no, those amps are ridiculous. They're very steep.
Yeah. Yep. Emptiness is filling me to the point of misery. I think they have a good year in a good pen. If you really dive
Absolutely.
into it, read into it. Yeah, they've quite the pen. I wanna, yeah. So
this is one of those albums where like I don't understand him half the time, and I like when you look at it, it's like a completely different song when you look at the lyrics.
Yeah, I know. I meant to do that more, like read into it. Like I caught a couple, but like just reading into all of them is probably a nice project for any Metallica album, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, I think just to challenge myself and see if I could before I actually, you know, read along with it in front of me. I tried as hard as I could to hear what he was saying, and you know, sometimes it's just like, nah, no fucking chance. Like, if you have nothing to work off of, like, no fucking chance, bro.
Yeah,
No fucking chance.
For my ear, at least. For the trained ear, probably. But
for me, yeah, I don't think mine is fully trained. Yeah, I can't always pick it up. But yeah, everything works about that song for me. I don't know if you guys feel, but
is
How do
definitely
you feel about it, Alex?
Yeah, go Alex.
I like it.
There you have it, everybody. Alex likes it.
There it is. Is that
yes,
all right?
Yeah, pretty much everything. David took it out of said it better than what I could have ever said. So.
David took it out of my.
I don't know words.
Yeah, baby.
Sometimes we don't know words.
No, it's fine. It's just the way you leaned in.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna not do that sound again.
Jesus.
Sheesh.
But yes, I think I agree with Alex. David said quite a bit accurately. As a first impression kind of guy, it definitely surprised me to hear acoustic. Like I think I said in pre-pro, where I was like, I didn't know Metallica had ever used an acoustic guitar. I mean, obviously I had no experience with Metallica basically, but it's like not something I expected to hear. It reminded me of I think the Wikipedia page says like Freebird or something like that, but it reminded me of like Hotel California, almost the just because it's acoustic guitar and I have minimal experience, I guess, but
that's cool.
But yeah, it surprised me, and then it like you said that buttery smooth transition, and it gets it. I mean, obviously it's an 8-track album, and it's 46 minutes long, something like that.
47 now.
47. So it's like all the songs are long as fuck. Looking at you, the Call of Cthulhu, and so it was like obviously there's time to put that transition in, and I think they seeded in there basically as well as I can expect, as new metal fan. So yeah, I was happy with it for sure.
Also, cool. In case any metal fans roast me, I did misquote it. It's to the point of agony, not misery. Okay. That was gonna bother me. I know.
Damn. I agree. Well, that's it. That's it for David. It's now a 3-man podcast. His career has been ended.
Yeah.
See you later.
I'd like to apologize for what I've done.
Get ahead of it.
I'd like to get ahead of it.
You know that stupid GTA meme? I want to apologize.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do the Conor McGregor
meme. Got a gun. I'd like to apologize.
Yo, homies with a gun?
Jeez. If you're an anime fan, listen to our My Hero series. Next episode coming out very soon. Next and final.
There you go.
Almost final.
Well,
final for about 6 months.
final for a while. Yeah. All right. Trapped Under Carbonite is the next track. What's that all about, Trevor?
This one's pretty heavy, man. Every time I hear this song, I think of fucking Han Solo, just because he's trapped under ice. I know that Han Solo was not trapped under ice; he was trapped on a carbonite, and he was like basically flat into it. But that and Captain America too. But spoilers if you never watched Captain America, the first Avenger. But
or Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back,
or Star Wars. Honestly, if I'm spoiling a 40-year-old movie,
yo, Empire Strikes Back spoiler warning. Jesus Christ!
I know, right?
Do we have to cut that? Because
absolutely fucking not. That's their fault.
Okay. Yeah, that's their fault. No, this song is wild. I somehow remember this more than I remember like Creeping Death and Escape. But it's just got a weird sense of urgency where like it literally feels like he's singing in the perspective of that person who's like trapped under ice and you can't move or whatever, which would be terrifying. Fucking absolutely terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, like in a frozen lake or something. Goodness gracious!
Oh my God, no.
At least that would be cool.
It would be cool, brother.
I think
it's like what's cooler. What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. I think it's supposed to be in reference to something I talked about on I don't even know what episode, but the fact that there was a craze in the 80s and 90s regarding the ability to cryo freeze yourself if you had a terminal disease, and then you could be unfrozen and like cured of your disease and then continue on living your life in the future whenever they had a cure for whatever, blood disorder, cancer, whatever it might be. And Star Trek, I think The Next Generation had a whole episode on that where they uncovered like 3 people who had been stored that way in space, and it's a whole thing. So yeah, but it's a whole thing. It's a whole weird culture phase thing that if you look into, it's a very weird rabbit hole. So that's why I say it's a whole thing, is because I'd be remiss to go into it. So, but yeah, I completely agree with you in that, like, the sense of urgency and I wrote down it's some of my favorite guitar on the album, of like the way it's played. And I don't know where it is, but there's like I think it's a 15 to 20 second like solo almost, where he just is fucking shredding.
He just rips it.
He just rips it. And I was like, I was in the car and I was like, okay. I was like,
it's ridiculous. This one, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And this one comes out of like really nowhere, and then it leaves as quickly as it comes in.
Yeah,
and it's just like, bro, why? Like, bring it back, please. This is one of the shorter songs on here as well, I believe.
No idea.
This and I think Escape might be the shortest track on here with 4 minutes. But
Yeah.
none of them, at least I'm going to keep repeating this point, none of them feel like they take up more time than they need to. I think they get everything that they want out of every song, and they don't kind of, YouTube 10-minute you to death for ads. They kind of do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree with you for the most part, for sure.
Yeah. We're Trapped Under Ice. Yeah.
And I don't know if you could consider that gang vocals on the hook, but just his way of delivering the phrasing.
Yeah.
Pitching.
Yeah.
Am I pitching? Is it?
No, like it came through perfect, but like the way you pitched it up was great.
Perfect.
Oh, that's the only way I can.
Yeah, no. It sounded good as fuck. That's why I laughed.
Yeah. Dude.
All right, stop Metallica. Jesus, I didn't realize you were guesting.
Stop Metallica.
Welcome.
You're protesting Metallica. Stop Metallica.
Oh god, not at all what I was saying. But anyway,
I know.
I know. All right, do we want to move on? Does anyone have anything else to say about Trapped Under Carbonate / Ice?
I'm good.
All right, cool.
What's the next
cool.
one? Escape.
Escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the song.
I remember it because it's my least favorite song on the album, I think.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
That's a great way to remember a song.
I thought I was
typically songs that you dislike heavily will stick with you more than songs that you really enjoy. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
At least for me. I can quote songs that I hate,
Trevor,
like front to back.
Trevor is staring down the final track of Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia.
I heard that track once, and the melody just like haunted me for the rest of the year. I was just like, bro, it was so absolutely well written that I just couldn't get it out of my head.
Yeah,
and I hate the song.
Sorry to bring us back there, but I had to. Yeah, dude. Okay, so I'm not crazy, because I was gonna say, because the video album we watched was like, oh, Escape was their radio song, and it was like should have been a hit and like all this stuff, and I was like, kind of clenching my teeth. I was like, is this good of a song? And I just felt no special way about it whatsoever, like, because it feels like almost like even like the notes don't even land where I want them to. It felt like clunky almost. So I don't know.
The video was interesting. It made me think I wasn't crazy too, because they were talking about, they basically had everything written, and then someone at the label was like, or someone else was like,
one more song.
Yeah, you need to write one more song, and they're like, okay, here's this, and it's gonna be short. Yeah. And they performed it once, and it was like a novelty, and like okay, this also sounds more like, I mean, like metal experts might tear me apart, but more like Black Sabbath or like other metal stuff that was popular at the time. That's like not true to Metallica a little bit to me, even though I don't think it's terrible, but it just doesn't hit the same as the rest of the stuff for me.
It's incredibly forgettable on an unforgettable album to me. So. It's kind of weird. It sits in a really weird spot.
That's a good way of putting it, I think. Yeah.
It's like a B-side, or it's a random B-side that it just feels like they were just like, we might as well put it on there. It's in the hard drive, fuck it. We spent money recording it, might as well put it on the album.
There you go. Yeah, they reminded me of Crazy Train, if you've ever heard that, which is not a bad song, but
one of the most like iconic riffs ever, like period.
I was gonna say one of the.
I learned to play that riff on the xylophone.
I think everyone did.
Yeah, classic. It was a lot of fun.
The xylophone.
I just want to see, what was that, middle school, high school?
Elementary and then middle.
Elementary, middle. I'd kill a man to see elementary school David play play Crazy Train on the xylophone. Are you kidding me? Goddamn. I would commit murder.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, Alex.
Fun time.
I want
Oh, murder? Not murder on the Unboxing Life podcast.
Definitely
Yeah.
not.
Definitely
Why
not.
not?
I commit no crimes.
The nenext track,
Another song that I can't recall unless I hear the song. But
Yeah.
Creeping Death.
Creeping Death.
I have a thing where every time I listen to this album, I forgot Creeping Death was on it. Was on it, and then I got to it, and I was like, "This song is dope." So it's definitely I enjoy the song quite a bit, and like the lyrical themes, some Old Testament stuff, pretty interesting for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it made me look up what the religion of the singers was, because it was like what's going on? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the 80s, like Metallica was like the sharpest edge in America almost, like aside from some other metal bands, but like for middle white like Christian America, they were like the devil spawn almost.
Yeah, for sure. Like they were the Eminem of their time.
So to make a song on their second album about like accurate to the Old Testament, like threw me for a fucking loop. I was like, this is like a thematically Christian and it's Old Testament, so Jewish song. And so I was like, this is like, not the way this story's normally told. So it was very interesting to me, this song, for sure.
Yeah, which is, I love their where they take inspiration from,
Yeah.
Take it from different places.
A wide variety of lyrical themes on this album.
Yeah, from the Bible to H.P. Lovecraft is pretty sharp literary transition for.
Yeah, nuclear apocalypse, being killed in the electric chair, being trapped under ice, suicidal thoughts. Like you got it all here. Like
Yeah.
a lot of destruction on this album.
Pulling lots of books.
It's very cool to write it from the perspective of the angel of death, and killing firstborn man. That's what clued me in, because I always remember, the firstborn son of.
Yeah, when he said the Pharaoh's firstborn son, that's when I got it. Was like the whole, it's Passover. It's the Jewish holiday of Passover, which they celebrate the exodus from Egypt. Basically, is the easiest way to put it. I know that story in more detail, but for for the sake of not going into that detail, we're just going to move on. Yeah,
that's yeah. But I don't know. Is there anything crazy to say about the song? I think it's just really good.
I enjoy it.
I think it would be really fucking dope to be in the pit and scream "die" at the end, like with the ad libs having like they're just saying "die" at the very end. That would be fire.
Yeah, the bridge, the end. Yeah,
that would be fire.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. I wish I ever remembered it more.
Yeah, I do enjoy the biblical themes of it.
Yeah, it's a cool place to draw inspiration. Like Avenged Sevenfold, we were talking about, did it a ton. Like, yeah.
Especially on their second album, for sure. I don't know about the first album, but
we get chapter 4 and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like chapter 4 is like entirely dedicated to a biblical story. So.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny, because like when you cycle back, it's like the whole thing is like being metal, right? Is like death and destruction and like all this stuff, and like that's probably one of the more like metal stories in the Bible. Like if you're going stereotypically, is like the murder of the firstborn sons of every family in this one city in Egypt. Like that's metal as fuck for that to happen. So like that's crazy. Yeah.
That is metal.
It's cool. It's cool that they chose that story to make a metal song out of. Honestly, to me.
Yeah. And it's it brings up a thought I had about talking about the lyrical themes of associating them with the devil. I get there were some, like a lot of metal bands that used like the pentagram imagery and stuff, but it just makes me think that a lot of people should have just listened and been like, oh, they're like, Metallica's not talking about like, let's like, I like to kill people and like, forget all your morals and stuff. They're like critiquing things they see as like moral flaws in society. They're referencing the Bible. They're like, anti-war. I mean, you can, have your position on that, but they're like anti-violence and stuff. Like it's something cool to remember, just the context. I always think of that when I go back to older Metallica albums too. Like they were not doing what people said they were in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it was a lot of ignorance, a lot of judge the book only by its exact cover. Like the electric chair, death, the devil was literally like the 3-step conclusion.
I feel like a lot of that just comes from old people not liking the noise. Like that's what it
definitely. I agree.
is. It's just like turn that shit down.
And now today's like older like music fans adore this kind of stuff, and they'll hate like the new stuff, the new like much harder metal. Now they'll hate it, like it's noise, and it's just like you're doing exactly what your elders did 40 years ago. Like
the cycle. Hopefully, I would like to not get caught up in that cycle.
no, I don't ever see myself doing that. I hope not. Like, I'll come back to this episode maybe 70 years from now and be like,
Oh, I hate that new Billie Eilish song. You know, I can't.
Goodness.
I couldn't even hear it.
There was I think there was a college humor bit about that whole bit of not liking your kids' music, and it's like this not newlywed, like couple our age driving their daughter to a party, and the daughter's like doing whatever, and she's like, I want to put my music on, and it's just like static and like screeching, and it's literally just like horrendous noise. And they're like, you listen to this? And it's like, oh my God, Dad, you just don't get me. And it's like, it's literally just like horrendous noise the entire time. So like,
and then
maybe
he's just like, give me the aux cord. Let me play some Playboy Cardi.
Give me the
Playboy Cardi, yeah. True. Yeah.
I think it's called.
Yeah, no, I definitely keep your mind open with some
for
music,
sure.
You know,
that's what the podcast is all about.
There you go.
For sure, brother. For sure. We're gonna end it on our instrumental track of this 8-track album.
Yes.
The Call of Cthulhu.
Very
Call
interesting.
Of Cthulhu, which is called Call of
top
Cthulhu.
3 for me.
Ooh,
I like that take. I can get on board with that. It's a vibe. I can sit.
It is.
I definitely, in closing, I can say that I think some of my best listens with this were like more passive listens as opposed to active. When I wasn't I'd just be driving on the highway, I'd be doing whatever, and I just find myself like bopping my head, like passively, like getting in the rhythm with it, as opposed to like actively trying to enjoy it and analyze it. Like when I just let it kind of like flow over me, I'm like, okay, I can vibe with this like pretty good. Like this is like, I'm chilling. So yeah, I mean, obviously, pay attention to the music so you can review it on a podcast. But when I was just kind of letting it happen, it was very good. So. Call of Cthulhu, based on the book The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft.
I think I know
it. What do you want about, Alex?
I think I know it. First of all, let me say shout out to Brian, because Brian would absolutely nut over a H.P. Lovecraft episode. So I'm familiar with Cthulhu. I think I know the answer, but Cthulhu's a dope story. But you can go ahead, or I can.
If you want to get us at it, you're more than welcome to. Go for it.
Is it because it's spelled? I think it's in like all media I've seen of Cthulhu, it's pronounced like that, like Cthulhu. But it's because if you say his name or write his name, he's gonna come. Oh,
correct. That is exactly correct. So in the book, The Call of
he's gonna come. Like,
yeah,
why?
I mean, he did.
Story about my man coming.
I mean, Cthulhu is like a whole squid monster kind of a looking dude. So it's
that's where the fucking tentacle porn comes from.
That's definitely not where it comes from. I think it's a separate. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. We have been the Unboxing Life podcast.
Shadows of Evil.
Follow us on socials. So you are completely correct. You're completely. You're killing me, bro. Call of Cthulhu is misspelled as such because Alex is correct. In the book, The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft, every time the being Cthulhu's name is either said or written, he comes closer. He becomes more real. You need to fucking chill, bro. You need to really chill.
That is funny, man. I'm sorry. I'm a 4-year-old. That is funny as fuck.
So yes, he becomes
Every time
closer.
You write his name, he comes. It's like Death Note with fucking what's his fucking name, man? God damn it. What's his name?
I'm not telling you.
Who is Ryuk? Yeah. Yo, Ryuk just nutting in the background like, yo, write my name again. Yo, give me an apple. I'll write my name.
The furthest
anyone ever got was 3 letters. David, now that you spoke that out loud, Netflix is going to make an adaptation and it's going to be your fucking fault.
It is going to be fire.
It's going to be better. It can only be better than the Death Note movie. I'll tell you that much.
It is true.
As long as Willem Dafoe gets like a Snyder cut and he gets to reprise his role.
Check out.
No matter what.
I just want to hear Green Goblin moan for 90 minutes. That is going in the intro, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep writing my name, Spider-Man.
I've said all I need to say.
Yo, you know it's funny when Alex is laughing. Oh fuck!
My fucking cheeks hurt, bro. God damn it!
My name, Spider-Man.
Ooh.
You serious? Could you write my name down in advance?
Well, that's
dude. I'm sweaty as fuck.
That is that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Alex, I like your take that it's top 3. I also enjoyed it a lot. You guys say whatever the fuck you want, whether it's Spider-Man references or if we're actually talking about the album again after 5 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Oh, we back, baby.
Back.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Yep.
Oh fuck. I'll pull it together. No, but some closing thoughts about the whole. They do this a lot where they have, at least from the albums that I've heard so far, they have an instrumental track on every album, and I'm so happy that this instrumental, at least this one, ends the album. Like I think on Master of Puppets they have one before Damage Inc. Or Garage Inc. Yeah, and I'm just like, why is this not ending? Like, it's so theatrical and cinematic. Like, why isn't this the ending track? And then you give me another song with vocals when there was a 7-minute outro, like perfect material for outros. I love this.
Yeah.
It's fire.
I agree. Very climactic, very just, again, crazy, songwriting, just music writing, whatever. Cliff Burton, again, I think from what I've heard, I mean, he had a big part to play in Orion, so I imagine he had a big part to play in this, just writing it as like a full, like, could be played by an orchestra piece of music, like crazy stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Love the riff. Yeah.
Mustaine, this is one of the tracks that Mustaine has a writing credit on as well. So
great. Wow. That's really cool. Metal minds coming together and melding to something great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess if anyone,
there you have it.
There you have it. Ride the Lightning.
Ride the Lightning.
Album that changed metal for the better.
The absolute truth of metal.
Yeah, that's when you're reading into it, that's what you see over and over again was, people talking about it, ranking it super high in terms of metal albums because of what it did for the genre. And I hope to educate myself further to know what they're talking about. Is that to see in which way this was a genre defining album. It's weird. It feels weird to start with a genre defining album, but maybe that's the perfect place to start because then you get the evolution. So I don't know. I'm excited just in general for sure. I'm glad we're doing a 3-part series as opposed to just covering this and then fucking off to whatever else we want. So
yeah. It would be cool to cover it in. Oh, geez, to cover it in depth. Thank you. Well, see what happens next for sure. I'm very hyped for the next one. Master of Puppets.
So we're covering Master of Puppets. Yeah.
Big fan of that album. Have it on CD actually. Thank you to my sister Caitlin. Got it for me on CD for 1 year for Christmas, I believe. Yes.
Did she get you Illmatic as well, or did you buy that?
I got that myself. Yeah.
Put that compact disc in your boombox and blare that shit all over the house.
There you go, compact disc.
I still remember going to your house when we saw Black Panther together and seeing Illmatic there, and I was like,
"Ooh,
yeah,
very nice."
I'm proud proud of my 2 CD collection.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah.
So.
But I guess I'll give my final thoughts over Metallica right now, so that I'll kind of get to see how my thoughts change.
Yeah.
As we listen to more. I'm excited to listen to more, but I haven't listened to any Metallica really beforehand, or like them specifically. So obviously it's a band I've heard of. I've seen it a lot. They've got like crazy merch, so I've seen their shirts and stuff. And
Yeah.
This logo is fucking phenomenal, by the way. Like,
so I basically live my life with like knowing who they are somewhat, you know. And so I feel like the hype was super real, and like I guess I had like a real high expectation going into it, and I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I'm a little mixed. I'm not entirely in love with all their vocals.
Okay. I will tell you that it gets better on the next album. I can say that with absolute certainty that it gets better. Master of Puppets is like, if they had to pick one, I think it's probably like the quintessential Metallica album. So
dope. I'm definitely hyped to listen to it.
Yeah.
Should I go next as the other new guy? I think I don't know what it did for me in terms of bias, if it helped or hurt. It might have hurt initially, but then it might have helped. I don't know, having some experience, but I basically couldn't help but compare it to Avenged, because that was basically all
hard
I had.
Not to, because stylistically it's what, like, Avenged is not thrash in any sort of the word at all, but their like progressive nature is completely derived from Metallica and bands like this.
And in terms of the instrumentation, you know, like metal bands, rock bands, they're using the same instruments, so that's what I had to go on. And so I found myself comparing it, and I was like, I don't like this nearly as much as I liked Nightmare. Basically, was like my first couple listens, and so it was that was
like, that's incredibly unfair, by the way. Like, I know it's like
let me finish.
Yeah,
that was my first couple listens, and so that's why I said it probably hurt my initial listening, having that sort of bias in that comparison. And you say it's unfair, I assume because you mean it's a massive evolution and massive gap in space and time and technique.
Like, literally, like even if like you take the albums like separately, there's so much more production budget towards Nightmare, and it's like they had 26 years of audio technology evolving in their favor. Like, it's going to sound better regardless.
That's exactly what I thought as that thought came across my head, was like, there is, you said 26 years gap in both technology and, you know, recording ability and all that, but also evolution in technique and style and everything that goes into the evolution of both styles and music in general. So it was once I didn't abandon it entirely, but once I like convinced myself, okay, you know, this is not really a good way. Like, obviously comparisons aren't really a good way to take things on their face. So, wow, pause. But yeah,
comparisons. I see what you did there.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, as I continued to listen, it grew on me more and more. I'll agree with Alex, and I think the vocals were the roughest part of the album entirely. I think the instrumentation like dwarfs the vocals in terms of quality and enjoyability. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I don't think I want to give these ratings. I'd rather, you know, go to the end of the three and compare them and then maybe give ratings all in all, because I feel like I could give a time capsule rating, but it'd be only that. It wouldn't be, because I don't have really an informed opinion. I'm a baby to metal in general, so it's like it'd be weird.
Cameron's gonna like Black Album more than Master of Puppets. I can already see it.
That might be. That would be an interesting thing, man.
We're gonna find out.
Sad but true.
Sad but true.
I'm kind of mad you said that. You should have kept that to yourself. But
why? That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Because I don't know. Never mind. Whatever.
Oh well.
So yeah. Anyway, final impressions. I like the album a lot. It definitely grew on me. Once I gained more and more of an ear for it. Obviously, I like I said earlier, I still don't have a full ear for, you know, differentiating a lot of the stuff. But the more I listened to it, the more I liked it, which is, you know, the case with basically everything I listen to. So yeah, definitely don't devalue the experience. Definitely glad we're doing this. So that's what I'll leave it with.
Cool. Glad that we're finally getting into some traditional metal.
Yeah, I mean, as a longtime Metallica fan, this album too, because I think
You say that all again.
Oh yeah. As a longtime Metallica fan, this was like an album that I needed to finally get to. And I think it was like in my era of buying albums, I remember like hearing samples of this, and I was like, the vocals are like, dang, and just my ear too. I was like, I couldn't look past them. But coming from that perspective, very glad I finally got to it. I mean, god dang, it kind of kickstarted the rest of their career a lot more than Kill 'Em All, obviously. But
I guess I'm not too highly of a critic of the vocals on the album. I think they're fucking fantastic. But
I think I think James Hetfield does good, but it's just the way they're recorded for me. Just really,
they're all over the place on here.
Yeah.
I think they're just so fun though.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's dope. Yeah. That's about it.
I can't believe I had called myself a metalhead and I didn't even listen to Metallica. Like I hate those boomer opinions where it's like if you like a certain genre, you have to like the shit that came before. I think that's the stupidest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I think you should also respect roots and like don't do what I do where like I'll walk around and say I fucking hate Pink Floyd because it's like it used to bore me as when I was younger, but like they're great for a reason, so maybe you have to just kind of mature your sonics and the way you perceive music, and maybe listen to it a couple years down the road. Maybe you'll like the album, which I plan to do with Pink Floyd, by the way. So don't crucify me for that. But I can't believe that I waited this long to listen to Metallica, like my favorite band of all time, my favorite musical artist, like fuck genre, like period, like cites them as their biggest influence. So for me to take 24 years to fucking listen to them like fully and appreciate it is blasphemous.
Which, as we said before, is Avenged, your favorite, right?
Yeah, Avenged. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. So I was fucking dude. I was so hyped when I threw this shit on because like the first song just goes so ham, and I'm just like, this is exactly what I wanted, and I wasn't disappointed at all. I think this album is fucking killer.
I definitely could not tell you're hyped by the group chat spam. Definitely could not tell. Had no idea.
The first, by the time I got to For Whom the Bell Tolls, I was just cheesing the whole time. I was in I was in my whip, just like going to new apartments, like trying to tour some shit. And dude, I was just like, I put that shit up. I was like, bro, this shit is hard. Like it aged so good. It aged like cheese, like water, like fucking wine, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's so good, dude. The older it is, man, the better. This shit was fire.
It's like water.
Honestly, age like water ain't bad if you're trying to say it was as good then as it is now.
I meant to say like wine, and I stuttered on water. I was just so hyped about it.
If you say wine, it's better now than it was then. But water is not bad because it was as good then as it is now, and I don't dislike that take.
As long as it doesn't sit in the heat.
Sure.
So keep this out away from your water, otherwise it'll turn bad.
Yeah, that.
Yes. Keep it in a cool, dry place.
For sure. No, this album's fucking flame.
Yeah, dude.
Super hyped to get to Master of Puppets and the Black Album.
Yes, dude. Ooh, it's gonna be interesting.
2 weeks.
I'm ready. Yeah, guys.
2 weeks, yeah.
And also, if there are any metalheads, people with a little more experience, even back in the day, that'd be great to hear from you. Maybe now or in the future, if we get enough of an audience to bring some of you in, that'd be awesome, man, and just talk about it because we don't have that experience of like this is what it was at the time, but that stuff is always. So yeah, it's been real.
Yeah,
I had to do it. Kind of cringy.
Let's all do it. Let's all do it. Yeah, let's all do it. Come on, throw them up. Yeah, not the fucking. This is I love you, bro.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
The devil. This is Satan.
Oh no.
I still love you though.
There you go. Oh, nice.
And that leads me to my next point. I love you all. And as my man Jay-Z said, on to the next one.
Hey, nice.
That's bars.
Easy.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you guys all enjoyed listening. Like we said earlier in the podcast, if you want to sub on YouTube, leave us a like, leave us a comment. Like David said, we'd love to engage in that kind of conversation. That's what the podcast is all about, is conversation, interaction. growth, all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely hit us up on there. Hit us up on iTunes with whatever review you feel we deserve. Hit us up on the socials. We'll definitely respond on there. That's at Unboxing Life Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and r/Unboxing Life Podcast if you're a Redditor. So yeah, that's been it from me and from the other two of us, and I'll give it off to Trevor with a adios, everyone.
Adios, everyone.
The other two.
It's good to be back. I can't tell you how much this is helping my mental space right now to be back on the podcast and just like fucking talk shit with the boys. Like it's been a very wild week, 2 weeks to say the very least. So I'm very, very thankful. I say that every week, but I'm incredibly thankful to be with you guys right now. So with all that said, sorry that I didn't give you as many in-depth opinions on this band as I'd like. Because I'm just really not as well versed in this band as I should be, so I'm working on it. So,
what's going on? Yeah,
we'll see you in 2 weeks for another classic review, and until then, peace out, baby.